Selena, can you go onto YouTube real quick? Can I borrow it? Please, please, please. No, can I borrow it, please?
Oh, I just got notified.
Can you hear? Can you hear anything?
It's delayed.
Can you hear anything?
No. It's delayed.
But can you hear me talking? Clearly, because I want to know if the mic's working.
Yes.
Can you hear anything? Cool, thank you. Okay, you don't have to watch it. Alright, let's see how terrible this oil looks. Not too bad, a little brown. I try replacing it as much as possible because of the stuff I put it through. Constantly revving it at like rev limiter and overheating it and all sorts of stuff. And I'm planning on going on a big trip soon, so I thought better to get it out now than having to need to do it partway along the trip. I'm probably going to do around 2,000 Ks down to Victoria, so I don't know if it'll last that long. Yeah, hello Spitfire, and yes, I know it's black. It's probably black for a lot of people, but it's not black compared to what I've had it at. It's probably around 1,000 Ks since my last stuff, but if you've checked out my channel, you know the sort of stuff I put it through. I do not treat this bike super well when I'm actually riding it, so that's why I try to do service on it every now and again. Oil filter. A bit of alfoil to save me getting oil everywhere. All over the exhaust. I'll show you, you can tell me whether this is black. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. But, as I was saying, it's not the worst I've ever had it. Thanks, man. Some people like the bike, some people not so much. It's a definitely very different bike to a lot of people are used to. So it's a CBR 500. Used to be a road bike, but now, I don't know what you would call it now. Maybe a semi-naked, semi-sport bike, semi-dirt bike. But the biggest issue is I took it to Fraser maybe a month ago, and all the parts are pretty stiff from the salt and sand and the salt water mostly. Thanks for the sub, Blake Plays. I appreciate that. I'm a pretty new channel, so I'm just starting to get the hang of it. This is actually my first time going live, but I'm doing bike maintenance. And I mean, I've learnt a lot along the way, but I always do appreciate people giving me tips, because I don't know I'm doing it wrong until someone says so. And yeah, it is like caramel, but I don't think it tastes as good as caramel. But this is gonna click. Oof. Man, this stuff's salty. So I need to fix a new chain as well as put some new oil in. What else? Probably new radiator fluid, but I'll just probably chuck some distilled water in there. I'm not bothered with the radiator fluid. Just get the old stuff out, because this is actually first time with the new radiator. It's not new, but new for this bike. I got it just as a parts from a wrecked bike. But the other one, all the little, I don't know what you call them, little filaments at the front, it's just been smashed from all my riding before. So it wasn't really doing the job it needed to. There's sand everywhere. Sand, sand, sand. Even this. So much sand is stuck in here. I do not recommend taking your bike to the beach. As fun as it is, it'll wreck it. And this bike's on about, I don't know, 120,000 Ks now. So it's getting to the end of its life, so I just kind of put it through the ringer a little bit more. Hey Kiara. I don't know, live when riding, I've tried that once on TikTok, and it kind of just stopped immediately because it's considered unsafe or something or other. Maybe I'll try it on YouTube, might be a bit easier. yeah, the R6 is just here. As you can see, probably due for a service, to be honest. It's been a little while, but I don't ride this one. I ride it a bit, but I don't ride it as harsh as I do the CBR. It's needing a new rear tire, probably an oil change and a few other things, flush the brake fluid, all that sort of stuff. I won't be doing that today. I'm only doing the CBR today, mostly because I'm taking it for a ride pretty soon. But I think the R6 will probably be next. Maybe next week I'll hop on live and give that one a bit of a once over. The CBR is also just so much easier because it's got no fairings on it at the moment anyway, and the R6 fairings are so annoying to take off and on. But I need to do it anyway because I'm replacing the indicators on it, so I'll probably do it all together so I don't have to stuff around with the fairings as much. Sand, look at that. Disgusting. Sand and grease from the chain. My goodness. Mind you, I've only done about 1,000, 2,000 Ks on this bike since the last service. But it just gets so dirty and sandy doing it. I think I also, before the beach, I took it up to Biawak National Park. And it was super muddy through there as well, so it's not had a fun time since its last service. Yeah, the R6 is technically my daily, but I've been in Vietnam for a little bit. I only got home like 3 days ago. So it's my daily, but I haven't had to do dailies too often. And also, I only live like 2 kilometers from where I work. So it takes a while to rack up Ks on it. The only real Ks is I'll take it for a ride up to like Glorious and stuff every now and again, but I haven't really had the chance to do that too recently. And then also, most of my weekend riding has been with the CBR, going to like Fraser or Biawak or different places. All the sand on the chain slider. Take off this front sprocket protector. Might need to take this off to get to it. Why is this not coming out? There we go. Cool. All these bolts are like seized in because of all the salt. It's like its own little Loctite. Oh, that's stuck. I don't want to strip the bolt itself. Yeah, it is so dirty. Threw a bit of degreaser on it to get it off, but yeah. If you haven't already, check out some of my other ones. Hopefully tonight I'll get my next Frazer video up, and that'll explain why it is so dirty. But I pretty much took it to Frazer 2 months ago, and I got through Nagala Rocks. To all those people that don't know what that is, it's pretty much like the toughest part of Fraser Island that all the four-wheel drives get stuck on. I didn't get stuck, but it was a mission to get it through, that's for sure. It was constantly first gear, revving it, and pretty much throwing all the sand out the back behind the bike. But also from doing that, you kind of just throw sand everywhere, and that's why this chain guard looks like it does. Give it a nice bit of a clean so I can get it all dirty again. We're getting there. Okay, is this bolt gonna come out now? I don't want to strip it because it's already starting to strip a bit. Damn, don't know if that one's coming out. I don't have a replacement if I do strip it. The other option is I take out the top. Yeah. Okay, I need this. Also, if anyone has any recommendations for any tracks in the Victoria Highlands, that's where I'm looking at going next week actually. Taking this bike through there. I don't know how many tracks I'll be able to do on it. I'm looking at doing Blue Rag, Mount Hotham, Billy Goat's Bluff. If there's any that I'm missing that I should do, please let me know. I need one of those spanners that you can go like, I have a socket wrench, but I don't think it'll fit in here. Almost. Oh, this thing is not liking coming out. There we go. Sprocket is covered in salt and sand as well. Ratchet spinner, that's exactly what I need. But then I need to find out which ones I use the most, because I don't think I want to buy a whole set. Look at that. When I go camping, do I take camping stuff? When I go to the beach, I take camping stuff. Yeah, depends what beach I go to, because I live in Brizzy. It takes a while to get to Fraser Island, so usually my mum lives in the sunny coast, so I'll sometimes stay with her. If I'm doing Fraser Island, I'll usually take camping stuff, although I've gone once and my mate's got a house there, which is really nice, so I've stayed at his house once. The last couple times I've been, I just camp at one of the camping zones. It's like $7 for a camping permit, and I just camp in a one-man tent and does the job. I've never stayed there more than 3 nights, but I will usually do camping. If I go to like Kalula, Tiwa Beach, something like that, I don't mind doing a day trip. Just for me, it's so much effort to do a day trip that I may as well just, you know, take some camping stuff and stay there for a couple nights. Let's put this into... Forgot to put it in neutral before I took the gear shifter off. go. Need to clean that up. But I'm not a big camper. I love it, but I just haven't gotten into it too much. And it's a lot of effort, but I'm trying to do it more often. So I'm looking at going to Victoria High Country next week, taking a one-man tent, taking my bike, taking everything I need to camp. And yeah, hopefully after that, then I might look at doing Tassie, camping, all sorts of stuff. Because I love camping and I love riding. I've just never really bothered doing it. And yeah, sand does get everywhere. I was like cleaning my tent out for ages, trying to get all the sand out, and it's still, next time I used it for something else, that still had sand everywhere. All my bags have sand all the time. So I have designated sand equipment now, just so it gets sandy, it stays sandy, and I don't use it for anything else. But eventually I want to do Europe, biking, camping trip all through Europe. So I'm trying to get myself better with camping in my hometown, like Australia, just so when I take it overseas I'm not such a noob at it. And as long as you pack light, it's not too much. So I usually just, the extras I take for camping are so I have my tent, I'll have a sleeping mat and a sleeping bag, and that's about it. The only other thing is I'm there for a few more days usually, so I have to worry about food, I have to worry about water for the time. I have to usually bring extra clothes, all that sort of stuff. So it's not just the camping gear, it's everything that comes with staying there longer. Last time I went to Fraser, I tried doing catch and cook. I didn't end up eating for 3 days because I obviously didn't catch anything, so the catch and cook turned into just a starvation period. Until like the last day when I got back into the township area where I just bought like a palmy. But yes, camping, moto camping is fun, really fun. What else do we need? So that's clean enough. I don't want to have to change the sprockets because the sprockets are barely used. They're just a bit rusty, although the chain, that's what got messed up after the Fraser trip. It was, I'll show you what the chain looks like. This is the chain. It doesn't look as terrible now because I covered in WD-40 so I could move the bike, but it was quite literally stuck, like so stiff that none of these links wanted to even move. Like that is stuck straight pretty much. Oh, there we go. And all of it just seized. So I had to get a new chain and pretty much just did one trip to Fraser, left it for like 2 days, and it was absolutely stuffed. I couldn't use it again. So I've learned, don't take a bike or any sort of vehicle to the beach that you care too much about, unless you know how to clean it up and you do it straight away. Yeah, I try to do it straight after, but obviously camping means that I'm usually on the island for a couple days. So even I can't clean it while I'm on the island itself, which kind of sucks. And then I'll set up shop and I'll camp for the night, and then the next day it's all literally flash rusted from the day before. I don't mind replacing the chains every now and again, but like every trip's a bit excessive. If you're able to take care of it, then yeah, obviously it's going to last a little while. It's just I can't do it if I'm doing a 3-day camping trip and it just gets rusty from that one trip. But even when I come home, I use the washing places that they have available outside Tiwa Beach. But even by then, most of the stuff is already pretty rusted and needs replacing anyway. But I do my best to try keep it in an alright condition. Alright. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, so I'm going to be taking out that one. Oof, thank God I got the clip. That one there. Time for the angle grinder. Yes, I film all my trips actually. If you check out my YouTube, the long form is usually what the camping trips and the stuff with this bike, and then my short form is more stuff I do with the R6. But long form, I pretty much do all my camping trips. Hopefully, got one coming out tonight of the last Fraser trip, and then I will have a bunch more of my trips to Vietnam. I actually took a dirt bike across northeast Vietnam, so there'll be a lot more of that on there as well. What else? Some riding I just do on my R6 as well as on my YouTube, but pretty much all the camping stuff and the sand riding is on my YouTube long form. Yeah, I'd probably need to get an air compressor to be honest. I haven't got one, but it might be the go if I do a lot more sand riding. Air compressor, add that to the list. Sand does kill everything. Thanks, Jacob. It's a nice bike, although it's a half destroyed bike, but I guess they could be the same thing sometimes. You look at it too closely and you'll start to pick it apart and want to fix stuff as well. Thanks, man. Yeah, hopefully you like it. I'm always trying to improve my videos. I actually just picked up a drone, a Mini 5 Pro to film all my stuff, which hopefully takes my channel to the next level. We'll see though. I've crashed my drone like twice already, so I kind of fly my drone like I ride my bikes. I crash this thing a lot, but most of my crashes are like planned crashes. I guess they're not planned, they're just I'm riding with the thought that I might crash. If you get what I mean. I'm prepared to crash, I guess. Whereas when I'm on the road, I'm always riding well enough that I'm not expecting to crash. You never know what's going to happen, but sand riding is a different matter. Okay, I'm going to mute this for a second because this is going to be loud. There we go. Being super careful not to hit the good part of the chain. Yeah, we're good. Where's that? There we go. Hammer. I have to take off the other side too. I forgot about that. Alright, let's see if that did the job. There we go. Cool. Then we got the clip. Where's my little tool for this? Here we go. So this is the clip one. You can use a rivet, but on these smaller bikes, I use a rivet on my R6, but these chains don't go through as much pressure as my R6 puts them through, so I don't mind putting the clip on the CBR 500. I've probably gone through 10 chains on this thing. Always used clips, never had a problem. Cool. All right. Beer o'clock, yeah, probably pretty soon actually. But the closer I get, the more beers I have, the slower I become. So I like getting a lot of the work done first, and then having a couple beers. Although I don't know if YouTube likes it too much, the consumption of alcohol on their platform. So it might have to wait until I hop off my stream. Plus, I don't know yet if I'm going for a ride tonight or not, considering it's Halloween, but there looks to be a storm coming, so I don't know if I can be stuffed riding through a storm tonight. Alright, all lubed up. Put it through here. There we go. Put the O-rings on this side as well. Go crazy with the lube if you want. Grease. The excess just comes off anyway. A ring there. A ring there. Let's chuck these on, and then I'm going to have to press it closed as well. That's what this little tool's for. Undo that side and this side. And then pull it up here. This thing can be super fidgety and annoying to get on properly. There we go, line it up properly along the chain. So the idea is it squeezes that plate onto the chain, and then once it's in far enough you can get the clip and put it where it needs to go. Yeah, I know. The chain doesn't match the rest of the bike. It also doesn't help that it's a gold chain and super sparkly. I don't know why I did that. But don't worry, it won't take me long to mess up the chain to look like the rest of the bike. A couple dirt tracks, a couple river crossings, and it'll match the rest of the bike. Okay, there we go. That should be enough for the clip to fit through. You want the clip running with it, so that way. There now. Perfect, there we go. Oh, where did I put that stuff down? There we go. Might be time for some new wheel bearings next time, but that'll do for now. The tension's pretty good as well because I didn't have to change it. I literally haven't adjusted my chain since the old one because it got messed up so quickly from the beach that it's literally just new chain time instead of adjusting chain. Chain done. Cool. Everything on this bike is dirty. Now I've done chain, engine oil's emptied. What else do I need to do on it? Need to take the radiator fluid out. Probably leave that till last so I can use the same bucket. I was going to swap the exhausts over because this one's a bit loud for a long trip. All right, that there. This way up. Still have everything on this bench, but I somehow lose my Allen keys every 5 minutes and can't find my Phillips head screwdriver. Then my flathead goes missing. I thought having a bike bench like this would mean everything stays together and I wouldn't lose it, but nope, I still managed to lose everything. Cool. Yes, a spinner spanner would be very good right now. Well, I need a 10 mil, at least a 10 mil spinner spanner, and then I think a 12 mil would also be good. Oh. Get that back on. Cool. No, why did I do that? I need to put the chain guard back on. Otherwise I won't reach the bolt behind this. Alright. Chain guard's as clean as it's gonna be. Put that in there, drag it back. There we go. One bolt. Yeah. Second bolt. Yeah. Yes, it is very heavy to move in the sand, but I guess I am kind of used to it at the moment. It's a pretty heavy bike. The hard stuff is, cruisy. You can just glide along it and it goes super nice, but Obviously, when you get to the super soft stuff and the like bull dusty sand, it's a matter of just holding the throttle in and powering through. And if you get on top of it, then you're good for a little bit. But as soon as it sinks in, it's just such hard work getting it going again. And yeah, it's obviously not the best bike to be doing this sort of stuff with, but I don't mind it. It's heavy. The suspension sucks. Well, it doesn't suck, but it sucks for that sort of riding. The clearance is another thing. I've cracked a couple sumps just because, you know, it hits a rock or something. So it's not the bike that you would pick to do this sort of stuff, but it's the bike I had, and it's just, instead of, you know, parting it out or just getting rid of it, and hit the 100,000 Ks, 120,000 Ks, and I crashed it. And I just thought, may as well rip the fairings off, not pay for new fairings, and just do whatever I want with it. And it's kicking strong, you know. It hasn't given in yet. Goes on hard stuff. I took it to the motocross track. Goes pretty crazy. All the lights fell off though at the motocross track, but still went all right. Yeah, it hasn't given in on me, surprisingly. But I also like it, it's not super high up. I've ridden a dirt bike for the last week in Vietnam, and it got me that they're super high up. I'm not super short, but I'm also not the tallest guy. And having my feet super close to the ground is pretty nice to just be able to catch myself and ride it. And, you know, push myself through certain stuff. And being on the dirt bikes, just, I'm so high up by the time I go to put my feet out and like falling halfway. So yeah, it's heavy, but you're also just lower to the ground. So it's got some bad stuff with it, but it's also got some, I wouldn't say positives, but just not so bad stuff. This bolt is broken. There we go. I'm going to take the exhaust off, I reckon. Would I get a dirt bike? I think, yeah, I would. I would like to get a 450, just so I can even, be cool to have a super motard, but I'd swap between a super motard and dirt, because it would be pretty awesome. And I rode the 250 for a little bit, and even that was insane, so can't imagine a 450, plus, yeah, it'd be super fun to do dirt stuff with, take it to motocross tracks, all that sort of stuff. But it's just money, money, money. Which, it's a matter of what's most worthwhile for me. So I think some point, yeah, I'll get one, but it's just a matter of when it's the most practical for me to buy one. And I'm having fun on these bikes at the moment. I just sold my other bike maybe a month or two ago, Ninja 300. That was a track bike, so I decided to move away from track riding a little bit at the moment. It's not that I don't like it, I definitely want to get into it again. It's just a matter of it's so expensive to continue track riding and to, you know, pay for track days and continue the upkeep on a track bike and everything. I guess it's just like any hobby, it's expensive, but this one can really get up there. Oil filter on. There should be a crush washer somewhere here. There we go. Damn, I actually hope I have another crush washer to put on there. I never check these things before I do it. Yes, we have two. Let me check that this is the right size though. Otherwise it's going to do no good. Yeah, the peg is not bent, but good spot. It's just because it's kind of like that. Ideally I would like it, you know, up here, but I don't have anything to stop it because it's not the actual peg that's supposed to be on here. The pegs that were on here were kind of rubber footed, and when it got wet or muddy or anything, my feet would slip off it so easy, so I just pretty much bought motocross pegs. They don't really fit onto these rear sets properly, so I just got a little washer that I stuck here to space it a little bit, but it's not the perfect size, so it's a bit wobbly this way. And then also because it's not meant for this rear set, the back that rubs up against it doesn't really push on it far enough back, so it just comes all the way down here. So it's good once you have them down, and I'm used to it, so it's fine, but yeah, it doesn't really work too well. Ooh, these sump washers they'll work, but they're a bit small. Alright. Sump plug. I just hand tighten that oil filter. It's usually enough. I've never had a problem with it coming off from a hand tighten. And then you're probably supposed to torque the sump plug down, but I've never done that. I only recently got this, what is it, bike stand, I guess, off a mate who has a workshop, actually Duke Lab just down the road, and he bought a new one for his bikes and asked me if I wanted this, and it has made life so much easier, that's for sure. There we go. Next one.